Why did America attack Iran? What does America stand to gain from a war with Iran? What does America want to do in the Middle East? Now we rewind the film a bit, going back to the early 1980s, and we encounter a man named Graham Fuller. So who is Graham Fuller? He is one of the leading figures in the management team of the Greater Middle East Project. He is also an American government official who served as the former vice president of the CIA's National Intelligence Council. He received BA and MA degrees from Harvard University in Russian and Middle Eastern studies. He worked in foreign service for 20 years in countries such as Germany, Turkey, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, North Yemen, Afghanistan, and Hong Kong. In 1988, he ended his direct government work and joined the RAND Corporation, primarily tasked with conducting research on ethnic problems in the Middle East, Central Asia, South and Southeast Asia, and the Soviet Union. An interesting side note, on April 15, 2013, it was reported by renowned American journalist Daniel Hopsicker in the Mad Cow Morning News that Ruslan Tsarnaev, the uncle of the Chechen Tsarnaev brothers who carried out the Boston Marathon bombing, was married to Samantha Ankara Fuller, Fuller's daughter, between 1996 and 2004. The article also stated that there were business partnerships between Fuller and his former son-in-law beyond their family ties. The Greater Middle East Project was first included in the United States administration's preparatory work for the 2004 G8 summit, aiming to shift opportunities between the Middle East and the West. The Greater Middle East Project targets an expanded region encompassing a vast area stretching from Morocco to Pakistan, including North Africa, the Arabian Peninsula, and Central Asia. Turkey, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Israel, Palestine, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Oman, Yemen, Egypt, Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, Sudan, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan. These are the countries included in the project, and the bigger picture is a weariness that has manifested itself in the countries in question. Persistent civil war, chaos, economic depression, unrest, high cost of living, and all sorts of negativity. This project, put forward by the US, was protested, particularly on the grounds of democratization of Middle Eastern countries, the redrawing of borders, and the defense of US interests in the region. Under the guise of a broad regional democratization encompassing the Middle East, North Africa, and the Caucasus, existing borders are being altered and restructured. The continuation of this approach is based on the unsustainability of the region's current borders and the creation of a new order along ethnic and sectarian fault lines. The developments in these events have been interpreted by many as the on-the-ground manifestations of this grand plan. The U.S. intervention in Iraq in 2003, documented by the United States, was a critical turning point in this process. Iraq effectively began to exhibit a three-pronged structure: a Kurdish region in the north, Sunni Arabs in the center, and a Shiite population in the south. Similarly, the Syrian civil war created a distance that allowed different forces to gain control of the country. With the Arab Spring beginning in 2011, Libya completely collapsed, and central authority largely disappeared. During the same period, fragile states like Lebanon also experienced serious upheavals. The Beirut port explosion in 2020, in particular, further weakened the country's already fragile structure. Regional power balances also began to shift drastically during this period. relations between Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates became strained at times, while Iran emerged as one of the most active actors in the region. Iran's attacks on both Gulf countries and directly on Israel have the potential to transform a regional conflict into a global crisis. One of the most critical points in this scenario is the Strait of Hormuz. The closure of this narrow passage, through which a large precedent of the world's oil trade passes, would profoundly shake the global economy, and the economic repercussions would be even more devastating. Within all these developments, Israel's position holds particular importance. According to many analysts, Israel plays a central role in the regional restructuring process, both in terms of security and geopolitics. On the European front, the fact that countries like the UK, Germany, Spain, and Italy have occasionally reconsidered their support policies towards Israel indicates that cracks may be forming in the Western alliance. On the other hand, global powers Russia and China have adopted a more balanced and cautious position, avoiding direct conflict. The fact that these two countries are pursuing a policy of strategic balance rather than open support, especially regarding Iran, is the prime example of this. In conclusion, all these developments in the Middle East, wars, internal conflicts, and power struggles, are interpreted by many as the step-by-step implementation of the Greater Middle East project. However, the ultimate outcome of this process is still uncertain. The only certainty is that the region will remain a battleground for global powers for many years to come. As a final side note, I would like to point out that the United States cannot be said to have fully won any war it entered, including World War II. The winner of World War II was the Soviet Union. It did not win the Korean War. Vietnam was a complete failure. First and second Iraq, Afghanistan, now Iran in the Middle East. The United States will not be the winner of this war either.